Hello, Barkai. Special shout out to all the boys and girls who are right now running around town and as part of Barkai Big Week, Barkai Inspiring Good, and Maura Allison Bar David, who is the Chesed coordinator for Barkai, that has organized all of the activities this week in order to train and to model for all of our children in the school the value of doing Chesed, of doing something for another person, Jew or non-Jew. Right now, the boys and the girls are either baking, cooking, visiting either firemen and police stations or a special children's center. And we really, really appreciate all of the students and their time, giving up of themselves and their time and their energy, and of course the parents for driving them around town. We appreciate everything. That is who we are. We do for other people. This Sunday on Tisha B'Av is the saddest day of the entire year for Jewish people around the world. Tisha B'Av is the saddest day because we lost something that is very difficult to replace. We lost not only the Beit HaMikdash, but we lost the entire structure of the Sanhedrin and of the leadership of the Jewish people in order to create the environment and the community and the society that is based on Torah. We have had 2,000 years in Galut, and we have rose to the challenge. Throughout those years in Galut, we wrote the Talmud, the Geonim, Shulchan Aruch, Harambam, but yet we yearn to return back to the days, as we pray 3 times a day, to the days of the Beit HaMikdash, where we have the Korbanot, and we have the Sanhedrin, and we have the Melech, and we have the Nebi'im. So we mourn not only the building this Sunday, we mourn so much more. We mourn the loss of a society that used to be the best. And because we lost so much, and that is the reason why we have those several things that we're not allowed to do. We can't eat and drink. We don't wear leather shoes. But more than that, there's an interesting halakha, an interesting minhag, that we sit on the floor until chatzot of the next day, until 1 o'clock the next day. We sit on the floor in order to show physically a sign of mourning when we pray together in the knis, and when we read the kinot, the lamentations, and when we read Megillat Echa. Not only do we sit on the floor, but there is also another minhag that we do not greet each other when we see one another in the knis. We don't say hello, we don't say we missed you, we put our heads down, and we walk very seriously to the location that we need to go to. What was the sin of the Jewish people that led to the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash? Yeshayahu, in this week's Haftarah happens to be, he says the following: Hoy goy hote am keved avon zera mereim banim mashhitim. Azevu et Adonai, they left God. Ni'atzu et kedosh Israel, they angered God. Nazoru ahor, they turned their back on God. What does that mean when you turn your back on God? How do you turn your back on God? And later on in Yeshayahu, it seems to teach us that what was happening in the first temple, when things were supposed to be great, was that the Jewish people began to turn their back on God when it comes to ideas. When it came to concepts of good and evil, they began to find their own truths and to ignore the truth that came from God through the Nevi'im. The Pasuk says, Hoy ha'umerim lara tov v'la tov ra. People would say that something that God said is good is bad, and something that God said is bad is good. Samim hoshech la'or. They would say that darkness is light, ve'or la'hoshech, and light was darkness. Mar lematok, something that was supposed to be bitter, they would say is sweet. Umatok lamar, and something that is supposed to be sweet, they would say it was bitter. The Jewish people, the prophet Yeshayahu was saying was, the sin was that they turned everything around. Everything HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, all the directions he gave through the Torah and the Nebi'im, the people looked the other way and chose their own truth. Tisha B'Av, 2,000 years ago, was a detrimental destruction to not only the building, but the entire Jewish people. It is a day for us today to reflect on where do our truths come from? Do our truths come from the society at large in terms of Western culture? Or do our truths, the way we run our families and our homes and our businesses and our schools, do those truths come from the wisdom of the Torah and the rabbis? It's a day of reflection upon those concepts. I hope that everybody has a meaningful fast and that next year we can enjoy the day in Yerushalayim. Shabbat Shalom.